Welcome to Aspiring Creator, where we talk about all the behind-the-scenes stuff of running moderately, somewhat successful YouTube channels and content creation kind of businesses. It has been probably 2 or 3 weeks. It always feels like a confession. It's been 2 weeks since I last confessed. But we are joined, we're kind of co-running a show today, joined by Lauri from Tech Notice and other channels. Hello, Lauri. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell people more about yourself and your channels?
Yes, hello. This is Lauri from Tech Notice. We do PC creator stuff, a lot of that, but recently also doing car channels or channel and doing car content, which is also surprisingly sometimes more successful than the big channel. So this is the wonders of YouTube, and we've been chatting behind the scenes with Pete for a long time now, but sometimes it's nice to have a chat together because I think there's a lot that people can learn or see behind the scenes that normal people really don't see, hear, or even think that this is happening behind the scenes.
Yes, this is something that a lot of people have been asking me on my Aspiring Creator channel, is to do more interviews like this. But I have a big problem with that because I'm really unorganized. So I don't want to make sure I'm always, the same time, same week booked for a video call. It's nice just to be able to do the Aspiring Creator and just rock up whenever I can spare the time, sit down and chat crap for 30 minutes or whatever. But this is great because we get kind of formats here. So we've got your format and my format, and we're going to kind of cross paths, and Lauri's going to post it on one of his many multiple channels, and I'll post this on the Aspiring Creator channel as well. But shall I just crack through my kind of little list to get started?
Let's see what we've got.
So this is in no particular order, but things that have happened since last time I made a video on the Aspiring Creator channel. So we have just instructed 1 of 10 to work together on a partnership basis, whatever it is. So this is going back to what I've said, and we've all been discussing it for the longest time, the whole views thing on YouTube, where views are very, very up and down. And I think you're probably in the very similar boat at the moment.
Yep.
And so I think the realization I've kind of hit this week, because we've had a few messages with, we have an agency that looks after our brand deals, and the agency dropped me a message and be like, well, views are a bit up and down at the moment. And it's just we go through this, it's like a never ending cycle right now, because we fixed our views and our views were great. And then because views were great, we got a lot of interest from brands. And then we did a load of dedicated videos, which were, very profitable and worked very well for the channel. But now, because there's loads of dedicated videos, the views are lower than if they weren't dedicated videos. And so now, your views are volatile again because they have been. And so now we're struggling with getting brand deals to where they were before. And now it's that cycle. So now we're going, well, let's fix the views and let's do the views again. But we're just going to go through those same motions. And it's been like this for the last 2 years or so, I would say. It's been a very long time with views is always the thing on YouTube that's tricky. Everyone's been impacted this year predominantly, I would say, since the end of last year. Was it for you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you when was the point where you found that something's changed? Because to me, there was a very clear kind of, whoa, something's changed in YouTube. And then ever since, I'm kind of trying to figure out exactly what's going on. So was it end of last year for you as well?
I think for us, it was end of, I feel like it was November last year. And there was, there's always everyone with their own theories on what's actually changed and what's happened, if it's an algorithm change or whatever it is. And I think from my understanding, you can blame it on a lot of things. It could be algorithm changes. It could be YouTube focusing on short form content so much more. If you go on the YouTube homepage, it's just full of shorts. Even if you search for something, it's just, hey, here's a load of shorts. There was also, I think, an ad blocker thing that popped up. So it was blocking views from a lot of people. There was also, I think, YouTube deprioritizing older content. So it was prioritizing newer content as well, which meant lots of the old back library kind of fell off. But I've run a business for a long time, whether it's content creation or the IT business before. And when stuff happens and things aren't going your way, you have to just go, cool, what can I do to fix that? You can't just sit there and complain and blame others. You got to go and fix it.
No, exactly. But I think...
And in content, that means content just needs to be better. And it's just figuring out what that means in today's world of YouTube and content creation. And that's before you even start looking at Instagram and TikTok and all the other freaking platforms that there are now.
But have you nailed it down what exactly is that you need to do better? Because we say, make better content. But I feel in order to get the same amount of views, in order to get to the same place, there's almost like too many variables that have happened at the same time right now. That I'm like, okay, which bit should I be focusing on? Because we've got the AI boom, then that causes like DRAM shortage, which causes SSD shortage, which causes like tech companies to raise the prices, which causes like the tech enthusiasts to kind of fall off, just tech interest, right? And then that means loads of companies are struggling, which means budgets are lower, which means we're not pushing as much on social media, which means YouTube then also is like changing the algorithm. Well, that's a different thing. YouTube, like something changed. So you're like, okay, have you you and me have talked about behind the scenes and like tried to figure out, okay, what is this? Is this working for you? Is this also down for you? Have you like now come to the point where you're like, I think this is it. I think this is the way forward?
Never. I don't think I've ever been like that in any business. I don't know. I've my wife hates me for it because we could have like the best week ever, and I'll just turn around and be like, yeah, could have been better. Like I'm always just a could do better attitude with everything, which is good and bad because you still need to remember to enjoy the successes and those kind of things. But like I definitely, we definitely haven't found the format, and that's why I've started looking at hiring. Chris that used to work with me, he's just about to have a baby, and we worked with him previously, so I just thought I'd like to try something a bit different again. And so we've got this 1 of 10 agency that, again, I've got zero experience. I can't provide any feedback yet because I literally just sent an email yesterday saying, cool, let's go ahead and try this for a few months or so.
So what is 1 of 10 then?
So 1 of 10 itself is predominantly a platform that helps you find outlier video ideas. So you can go and search in whatever genre or category and find videos that are outperforming the other videos on the channel. And I believe it also then helps you find those correlated videos for this type of video is outperforming across multiple creators. And so it's taking those ideas and then bringing that on to your channel or fit in your format, or taking a video from a completely other different category and then making it about tech somehow. And I think from my perspective, it's something that, especially this week when we were chatting about the views and technology just going up in price, it's kind of a good time of the year because my PC is now worth like 80% more than I paid for it, but also views would be nice too. So that's causing problems. And I feel like lots of our content is like phone content, or lots of it used to be phone content. And this again is like how we've started pivoting, is that I got to a stage where I got a little bit bored of reviewing every single phone because it just gets exhausting having to switch your SIM card and set up your brand new phone every single day, and different phone, different operating system, and you've got to tell your wife or your friends you've switched phone again. And so at one point we went, well, let's look at the data. And for us, the data said, look at the flagships. So we looked at Apple, Google, and Samsung, and that's like the main flagships we have followed for the last kind of couple of years or so. But more recently, it's been, again, similar, following the trends of AI and everything going up in price, that it just feels like things are just too expensive. Like I don't know if you've seen the rumored prices for like the upcoming Galaxy foldables, the iPhone Fold. It just looks insanely just out of reach for most people. And so just looking at that just makes me think, is there like views are dropping off? And actually part of that, is that just because it's just not affordable anymore? And but also mixed with just lack of interest. The whole thing nowadays is that AI is just the same product, but with AI now. And a lot of people just are getting a bit tired. Like we're getting tired of it as tech reviewers. And like I want hardware innovation. I want, the silicon carbon batteries and like better screen technology and better cameras that we're seeing in all the Chinese stuff. But we're not getting it in the big three, Apple, Google, Samsung. So I feel like it's just a general trend of just consumers and viewers just being less interested in those types of content, but instead having the bigger picture ideas now of, well, is there there was Mr. Who's the Boss video I watched yesterday, a couple of days ago or so, that it was like the unusual phones, I think it was, or like these phones shouldn't exist. And like the iPhone Air was in it. And so they weren't like anything that unusual. He's just found a different way of packaging it into a video that's more interesting and it's more intriguing to watch. Yeah, I tested the phones that shouldn't exist. Like the iPhone Air is one of those. And that even like talk about like clickbait and things, that phone in his thumbnail does not exist. That's like there's a wraparound one that wraps around your wrist, but that exact thing is just, I guess, very heavily photoshopped, which then leads on to like, well, how clickbaity do you get with your thumbnails? But I feel with technology, maybe there's just like a downturn in people's interest because it's just boring and there's no major innovation apart from AI, and the technology not changing. It's just getting more expensive. So we need to pivot. And one of the things we found on our channel is, which weirdly on the basis of your channel, is some of our more technical content is doing better. So like the deep dives into networking and Wi-Fi and Unify guides. We were chatting about this actually. So I posted what was it called? Why Your Wi-Fi Sucks, that video, and posted it. Massive 10 out of 10 on the channel. And a 10 out of 10 is bad. It's like, it's performed
it's the worst.
10th worst out of the 10 you've posted. But it's now climbing. It's like a 5 out of 10 now. And the trajectory of that video is it's going to then go climb out the top of our expected kind of, 1 of 10s at some point if the trajectory keeps going that way. And so, we could have sat there and started going like, oh, let's do the thumbnail tests and A/B tests and title changes. But we looked at the data, and even though the click-through rate is bad, we had average view duration was up, like significantly up. So people that are watching all of it, or at least a significant part of it. So now I'm just like, cool, well, let's just leave this. Let's just see where it goes. And maybe it does kind of, that's another win for us in terms of our IT Expert Explains series, if you want to call it that, which maybe it's a slow grower, but if it's a slow grower, but it actually goes outside of those boundaries and goes above to our 1 of 10 and above that over time, then that's great. Problem you've then got is, it was sponsored, and the sponsors probably sat there going like, oh, the video didn't perform that well. It's been 24 hours, Pete. Where are our conversions? It's just like, well, like, videos last longer than a week or a day on YouTube, and patience, like the video is going to be there for a year plus and still continue to deliver those views and clicks and conversions. So it's just another thing to have to try and teach brands again.
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of my biggest gripes when the brand comes and says, "Hey, can we work on a CPM deal?" And I'm like, "Okay, let's leave it open time frame." Then they're like, "No." I'm like, "Why?" No,
30 days,
first
please.
30 days. And I'm like, "Well, I could get 1 million views, and you're going to pay me like $1,000 for this, or whatever." And you're thinking this is like not actually in sync of what they want, which is actually this is how some of the biggest brand sponsors that you've seen work. We're talking about, I don't know, can we name the names of this? What you see from Mr. Who's the Boss?
I guess you can.
Yeah. Okay. Surfsharks and all the VPNs and all of these things, right? So all the tech things that you usually see, they're actually working at a very like low CPMs, which is like, they're kind of good products and can be good sponsors. But I feel like it's not really doing justice for, if I'm putting you on a video that's maybe a tutorial that's going to be very search optimized, it's not fair to just measure it in the first 30 days, I think.
It'd be interesting if you said like, cool, we'll take the video off after 30 days. Then we'll take the video down after 30 days. How do you feel about that? They'd probably say no.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah, that's a good point.
But then also you wouldn't want to put all your time and effort into there for 30 days when you know that, like, and I had this with a brand once, and I actually showed them our data and said, look, the majority of our views come after 30 days. Because their belief was most views come, within the first 30 days. And actually for a lot of channels, that's true. You have the initial uplift and then it kind of flatlines and then trickles through. And that's what a lot of brands expect as like the norm, when certainly for me and for a lot of channels I'm speaking to recently, it's a much slower, like YouTube takes a very long time to find its audience now. I think that's the main thing.
Which is actually quite hilarious. And like, why did you change the algorithm? Why do we have to find the audience? I thought the audience actually chose what they do want to watch. Now they're like,
well,
hey,
this is
let's
the whole
find
thing,
it.
Isn't it?
Ooh,
yeah, this is like the every piece of content is every piece of content is looked at uniquely. It's like, but cool, but yes,
no.
I think it's a load of bollocks, because if you post outside of your niche, it just tanks the video. What is it? You have to think from the algorithm is the viewer. So the viewer is algorithm delivers videos to it doesn't send videos to viewers, it pulls videos to the viewers. And so like if it knows it's a video that viewer is interested in, it will pull it towards it. Yes, I agree with that. However, it will also prioritize known channels that post that type of content from that particular niche or category way above beyond anything else, unless interestingly, we've seen recently, you start a brand new channel and post that type of content on that channel, because young, new, very small channels are getting boosts nowadays where their content is being pushed ahead of others in the algorithm because they've got a fresh channel. There's no data, nothing. So let's just send it. Maybe in that case, yes, it looks at every video as a bespoke, unique piece of content until it then is able to assign a tag to the channel, like this channel does this type of content. Tell us about your car channel, because that's essentially what you started off. You could have posted that on Tech Notice, but you now have a separate Cars from Mars, is that, I believe?
Yes, that's the one. So we started Cars from Mars almost a year ago, and the thing with that was I was like, should I do it on Tech Notice or not? But I thought I want to keep it separately. I don't know why I thought that, but then we saw a massive. I heard that some people are saying YouTube's going to start to prioritize the smaller channels. This is so true now. So basically, the cars this is an interesting one. Have you noticed that with certain channels, when you hit a like button, YouTube gives you an emoji for that, the like button?
No, I didn't.
So if we look at this one, let me have a look at. So I don't know if you can see the screen.
I can see the screen. Yeah, I used to know the whole when you said the word subscribe in your video, it used to flash the subscribe button or something.
Yeah. So this is actually even further. This is what we literally found out in the last week or so. Let me see if I press like. So this is just a like, right? So if I'm going to go my Cars for Mars channel now, and if I take any of the videos.
Oh, please don't tell me this is the boost, not the boost, the hype thing or something, is it?
No. It's okay. Come on, go on to this video and then watch this. If I press like, do you see that? It
so
had
it knows you're a car channel,
like a car wheel emoji. There's some other. So, for example, if we go to Critical Drinker, we tried that. It knows it's all about movies. You went there, hit the like button. It's like a movie reel comes, and we're like,
interesting.
Wait a second. So YouTube's giving a special emoji for channels that they know what the channel is about. Whereas Tech Channel gets nothing, just a like.
Hey, here's something then. Okay, so proving this theory further, because if we believe what Rene Ritchie tells us, is there a video on any of those channels that lives outside of that channel's category? And for example, on the car channel, if they posted a phone review, will the like button give you a car wheel or a phone something or other? Because is it channel-based or is it video-based? As videos should all live independently on YouTube, as we're told.
Yeah, exactly. So let's have a look. Mr. Who's the Boss? I'm sure there was a car channel.
He bought a car for his wife or mum or something, I think, didn't he?
Where is this? Okay, see, cars.
All those ones, yeah.
Right. 140 years of cars. We're going to hit the like button, see what happens. Nope.
No, regular like.
Just...
no, hang on. It did then.
It was. Wait a second. Okay. So Rene might be onto something here.
Yeah, but he is and he isn't, because I still don't. I fundamentally disagree that every video lives independently as far as discoverability comes on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I actually agree with you here as well. But just to show that there's different things. If it's about movies, look, movie emoji, boom. So interesting. I don't know what to think about that, but we've seen huge boosts and views on the car channel compared to the main channel, to the point where we worked with BYD on their new charger technology, and just for interest, I posted the same video on both the channels, and on Cars for Mars channel. So you've got 2,000 subscribers. We got around 60 or 70. I don't know what the video's on. It was a short. It's exactly the same short. Nothing's changed. The same file was uploaded. One got about 3,000 views on our almost 300,000 subscriber channel, whereas on the Cars for Mars channel, it got, I don't know, 60, 70,000 views. That's 20, 30x the time amount of views.
Which did you post on first? Which channel got the video first?
It was at the same time. So we used Opus Clip to post exactly the same thing everywhere. But the weird thing was, because on TikTok, it was blowing up even more, right? It was getting hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok. And then while it was getting lots of views on TikTok, the video really shot up on Cars from Mars YouTube channel. When it stopped on TikTok, then on YouTube, it also stopped. And I was like, how can people's interests be like linked like that per platform, which is really weird. That made me think of another theory, which is, does YouTube look what content performs better on other platforms? Because the video on YouTube got boosted when it started gaining loads of traction on TikTok. Not like the same kind of graph. You can see like the curve comes later. Does it look at other platforms, and when it performs well in there, they're thinking, hey, we'll kind of feed that same content to our audience on our platform? Honestly, like, I don't know at this point. It's just like trial and error, and they're like, hey, look, this kind of works. And no one can really, I don't know, prove it wrong or right. It's just like, this thing happened. I don't know if it's true. So yeah, it worked. We're getting more views sometimes on our small channel than the bigger channel, and I don't know why. I actually asked a YouTube rep, or I don't know what the actual right position is there, someone from YouTube who works there, and I said, hey, I'm getting this. The stats are actually showing that on the bigger channel, people are watching it longer than on the smaller channel, yet the smaller channel gets more views than the big one. They just sent me lots of articles for like how YouTube algorithm works or different things in discoverability. And I'm like, because they didn't actually have the answer. They couldn't actually her words were, sometimes it kind of works like it works. We don't have an answer, or sometimes it just is like that. And I was like, well, that's assuring, right?
Sometimes it sometimes does sometimes. Great.
Yeah. And I'm like,
thank you.
Okay, thanks. That's really helpful. But you're having the same thing with like some of your smaller channels, right? I think your Pokemon channel and the Super Cool channel.
Oh, like little bits here and there. I mean, I guess it's a different niche again. But no, I mean, me and my son just do. There's like zero at the current time. There's zero interest in like the videos performing well from me and my son's Pokemon channel, because we're just doing it for fun. I'm just using it as an excuse to spend more time with my son before he gets too old and too cool to hang out with his dad. But some of those videos have done pretty well. They've done a few thousand views. Weirdly, it's the ones I've started using AI thumbnails. So we signed up to like vidIQ's basic service, and I upload the video. It transcribes the video, comes up with an AI title for it, comes up with a AI thumbnail, and I just click yes, use those, post it, and I'm done with it. It's called Harvey Collects. I think if you Harvey Collects, maybe Harvey Collects Pokemon, but Harvey Collects should bring it up.
Okay, let's see.
That should probably bring it up. There we go, that first one. Yeah, AI generated logo, AI generated banner, like all those last. Yeah, it's all AI generated. It looks a little bit like us, but
it looks quite good. Actually, it looks like you.
You can tell when we changed, so that's when I was doing my own thumbnails, and the priority for me here is spending as little time as possible on the channel, and just like opening some fun Pokemon with my kids and stuff. So, it's fun. And maybe that will turn
16 times.
It's mad. But all I can say is it's just the AI thumbnails, because anything before that just died, basically.
I mean, but okay, let's think about this for a second. AI thumbnails work. Is it AI title as well, or did you put them?
For this one, AI titles, yeah.
So AI titles and thumbnails are working better than your own creation.
Which makes you sound really bad at my own job, but yes.
No, but where is this going to lead? Because
we all know it's the AI slop, isn't it? It's the what's the word, Matt? When is it, Matt? What's the word for where the internet just goes into slop? It just like AI just feeds AI and it becomes the dead internet theory. That's the one. Sorry,
dead internet. Yeah.
Dead internet theory, where just like everyone that is actually genuinely creating content just obviously stops, because why bother? Because AI is just summarizing everything, and it gets to the point where AI is just summarizing AI is summarized, and it just turns into a slot machine. Yeah, dead internet at that point. Dead internet theory.
But the weird thing is, like, we are actually pulled into it. Like, we are clicking, because it works because we're clicking on it. So why do we prefer AI stuff instead of non-AI stuff? I mean, will.i.am, I think, said years ago that you're going to be listening to AI music and you don't even know it, and you're
Yeah.
gonna like it. And I was like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about.
But so many people have sent me like videos, shorts, like long form videos, and I switch off straight away because you can tell if you know what you're looking for, and I just go like, I have no interest because it's AI. I don't know if it's probably not true. It's probably going to have. My wife started sending me, what was it? It was like cats dancing or something, and I was like, I just have no time for this whatsoever. But people, like normal people, watch it and like it and think it's funny and share it. And on TikTok and Instagram, shareability is one of the biggest drivers for like virality. It's just how many times does it get shared?
Well, have you seen YouTube's trying to? I think YouTube's trying to do that as well. They've made
okay.
a new, where you can actually DM that message to another YouTube user.
Oh, yeah. I saw the DMing thing, and I don't like that at all. I don't like people having. I don't want people to DM me on YouTube. They can already DM me on 15 different platforms already. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean,
need
literally. How did it was? I don't know how can you do that, but I saw
like
that you can really
yeah.
send it to like the actual YouTube user, because that is the main thing on Instagram, isn't it? When you're DMing it, like I go home, my wife's like send me like loads of reels that I need to watch and laugh at. I don't know if yours is the same.
Oh, it's me and my wife we send reels back and forth between ourselves, and that's it.
Literally. But there is a place for the AI that I think is actually funny. I don't know if you've seen like about the World Cup and what the Haaland stuff that's going on.
I haven't. No.
There's like this Haaland song that's happening. There's this like Haaland thing about, because someone did or heard that Haaland is eating loads, right?
Okay.
So then someone found another video of like this a bit chubbier guy absolutely munching away in the corner and then kind of getting scared of himself in the mirror. And then they replaced it with Haaland, and it's absolutely hilarious. At first, I thought, I was sending it around, I was like, look at this guy's eating like an animal. But then I found out it is AI, and I was sharing misinformation.
You got sucked into it. There we go.
Yeah.
And that's how it starts.
Right. So what's your next topic?
So I had a couple more, and then we can move on to your crack through your list. So just a minor thing, but everyone has bad comments on their videos a lot of the time. We went through a phase, and again, like you're trying to figure out like what can we do to make things better. Some of the feedback we got with our questions to YouTube and what we found online is that you want people to watch your video, they want to watch all of it, and they want to like feel like they had spent their time wisely and it was a good experience watching it. So we went through a whole process of like trying to make sure that our videos were like positive outcomes and people felt good at the end of it. And part of that was, we tried to preempt which kind of, shitty comments people might be saying in the comments. So you can try to head those comments off in the script before we make the video in the first place. But then also you're inevitably going to get some bad comments. So we went through a process of hiding the unnecessary ones that are just those keyboard warriors that are just, for whatever sake, they're on a bad day and just, called you fat or ugly or your hair's like something or other. Like, we get rid of those kind of comments because YouTube is very much like your vibe attracts your tribe. And if your vibe in the comments is everyone's having a go at you, they're just going to join in. So we spent some time a while back with every video we posted. We would watch the comments and hide the crappy ones. And it did positively mean that most comments we were then seeing were positive. So it did have a good effect. But we posted a monitor review recently, and just one of the things we genuinely missed on it was some of the backlighting technology. It was one of the LG panels. It's the LG 27-inch monitor, and we didn't cover it because it was a mini LED monitor, and most mini LEDs have like haloing around things because that's just backlight, dimmable zones. It's just a flaw in the technology. And we went, yeah, cool. It's got that thing. Let's not mention that because it's just a thing with that kind of screen technology. Moved on, covered everything else about it in the video. Like, so I don't know how long it is. It's a 14-minute video. It's the LG 27-inch one that's there. But we went through the processes. It's the one on the right. Yeah. And I think some people on the comments started calling out, well, why didn't you talk about backlight, dimmable backlight zones and stuff? And we found it on Reddit, and the Reddit thread is basically full of people going like backlight. And literally the supposedly top comment on there, no mention of local dimming in a literal mini LED. did your sponsor not want to shed light on the terrible dimming? No, we just genuinely just didn't remember to cover it, because like there's plenty of, and it's not that like we wouldn't have covered it. It's just there's inevitably, you're going to miss something. Like we could have covered local dimming and it would be something else people will pick apart and say we missed. However, on the, so we're about to post a one that covers all of the monitors. And again, now we've done 3 in-depth reviews on the monitors. We can now sit at a higher level and go, this one's for this kind of type of person, this one's for a gamer, this one's for productivity, and all the strengths and positives. And we're going to talk about the backlight dimming in that video because, we can talk about it because, we obviously people care about it. But it's still very annoying to be like called out that, oh, this is a sponsored video. The brand obviously told you not to say anything about it. It's like, nope, we just suck at our job sometimes. Like, it just happens.
But here's the thing, like often, do you need to cover everything? And if everybody covers everything, what's the point of people making the same video? That's the point, I think, where you come in, where I come in, where we're talking about the bit that is the most exciting to us, right? We're going to talk about these things. Some people in the comments are like, oh, it's going to be sponsored because you don't do this and that. But like, will they do it? Because I bet if they made the video, they're not going to cover like the, I don't know, color accuracy that I'm only interested about if we're talking about monitors, right? But I think that's because like with cars as well, at first I wanted to really cover or try to do like an in-depth covering absolutely everything about the car and trying to find like things that people aren't covering that I should cover. But then I realized that I'm covering things that aren't exciting. I'm not excited about it because I'm trying to find a thing that no one's covering rather than talking about the exciting things, the things that really make me feel that this car is different and actually, wow, this is really different and exciting. So I found in the end that now when I'm writing the car reviews, I'm really like scripting a lot more, just really trying to talk about only the things that I'm excited about. And they work so much better. I'm just literally honing in about certain things that I'm really excited about. Like later on, I find in the comments that I didn't cover something that absolutely sucked, and people are like, exactly that. So
it's going to happen. It doesn't matter what you're going to talk about. You're always going to miss stuff. And like frustratingly enough, I think with the Samsung Mini LED that we reviewed like 2 years ago, we would have talked about it then because I noticed it. I just happened to notice it in general use. I think with that particular comment, if you click into his profile, I think he's salty because he posted a video about it and it got like 20 views or something. He did post maybe it wasn't him. There was someone else that did post it, or maybe a short, maybe not. There was somebody that like commented that about the local dimming, and it just happens that he actually posted a video about the local dimming, and no one saw it on YouTube. It didn't have many views. But it's just, it's just one of those things. And we, much like that, we have our own formats. We have the format we follow through for most monitor reviews. I kind of like the monitor reviews because it's just a format that just we stick to with every single monitor review. We have the headings in our script for like, make sure we do like the temperature check, the ghosting tests and those kind of things. And we just go through the motions. It means it's a very process driven monitor. But yeah, there's always going to be comments. And it's never going to matter how much you do. There's always going to be people unhappy in some regard. So
have you found that there's different types of people attracting different audience? So for example, in our tech channel recently, there's so much negative people. I don't know if that's representing where the actual tech niche is at, but people are just like horrible, and they're saying just wrong things. And I'm like showing some of the comments to my guys and I'm like, look at this guy. He literally couldn't be bothered watching the video where I talked about that thing. And then he actually made a wrong factual thing about calling out my right fact as well. It's like they couldn't be bothered, even just a simple Gemini or anything. They're just like, I don't know, unhappy about whatever reason.
Let's go to dead internet theory here. So this exact scenario. So we posted a few videos on the LG, it was the 52-inch LG actually. I think it was the 52. In one of our videos, we basically said none of these monitors have KVM. Mm-hmm. So they don't have KVM. And someone commented saying, no, actually, I think you'll find it does have KVM because it has one USB input and it has like USB-A ports to plug in your keyboard and mouse and all that kind of stuff. I went on to Claude and said, can you just like, actually, no, it was the video we're working on where we're comparing all 3 monitors. And we rewriting it and said, like, just confirm, like, it does not have KVM. Claude came back, dead internet theory here, and saying, I think you're mistaken. It does have KVM. There's people noting on Reddit and in the spec pages and comments on YouTube or whatever it was that it does actually have KVM. And it's like, this is where the problem is, because me having the monitor and using the actual monitor, and definition of KVM is that it can switch between multiple PCs and multiple monitors. One monitor, multiple PCs, so it switches keyboard, video, and mouse. That's the whole point of KVM. Not hub, where hub is plug in one thing into the computer and multiple devices plug into via the hub. Like hub and KVM are 2 different things. But because now misinformation exists on the internet, now AI is using that as, I think you're wrong, when I'm not wrong. It's just taken the wrong information as, hey, you might be wrong here. And that's just like where this whole thing is going. And like, you're quite right. People not watching the video or misinterpreting things or wrong definition of things, saying, but you're wrong, when actually, no, I have the monitor and I'm telling you it doesn't have KVM.
I mean, this is literally, I did the similar type of research a little while ago when I was looking into that, like, dead internet. I had someone said that to me and I was like, this is rubbish. Like, there's like, how can this be, right? So then I went to the AI and I was like, come on, show me some facts. I was talking to Gemini about all of this. Like, is it actually true? And then like, yeah, here's like all these articles, research that there's 51% of internet traffic is non-human. And I was like, what? So think about that now for a second. If that is 51% non-human and we are using AI to get our information, half of the information of AI is going to be, I don't know, AI or some kind of other bot, right? That the information is going bad so quickly. I don't know if you have experienced that, but you remember when you like first time tried Claude or Gemini and you were like, wow, this thing is smart. Now I'm asking him do stuff and it's like just blatantly wrong. It's just wrong about factually wrong. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Yes. Can you look again this paragraph? Yes, you're right to call me up on this. And I'm like, just what's happened in between? What if AI is literally thinking, these humans are, I mean, because if they are literally learning our habits, and if we are asking them to do stupid things with stupid grammar, they're just thinking, we'll give them stupid stuff back, see if they kind of eat it.
But this is like, it is, dead internet. Like, so there's a channel called AI Master. If you have a look at this channel, because I find this frustratingly interesting in that he's a guy that used to do tech reviews, and he just seems to pop up in like whatever channel he seems to think he can make some views and money on. I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but
I'm seen him.
There's a video. Where is it? It was one when he talked about a new GPU.
This one?
AI? Is he taking it? Yes, that one. Click into that video. Look at the comments. You can't play audio here, can you? And I guess you might get copyright struck. But literally, the top comment. He literally says, "Here's the part they aren't saying out loud," and like the entire script that this guy is reading out is AI written to the point where it's completely wrong. The pricing's wrong. It's old technology, wrong specs. He's saying all of the trigger AI keywords that AI writes into scripts.
Is this even him
saying out loud? It looks like him. It does look like him in the rest of his videos. But you're right. It could be AI him as well, potentially.
Because this could be literally 11 Labs, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like he's got more arm movement than normal, maybe.
But look, his like tongue, I don't know, maybe it is him.
But
I mean, people might be looking at
57,000 views though. Look, 57 freaking thousand people have watched that. Like, why?
300,000 subscribers.
Yeah. And like, I got like 30 seconds into the video and went, this is complete AI dross. Stop watching. But people have watched, have stuck around, and a certain percentage of that have gone, oh, this is all true, and they've watched it to the end. You know, there's a certain percentage that watched everything to the end, and I mean, I guess this is just the numbers game at this point, because you can post so much about AI with AI that you can just outperform any other channel because you're just posting daily or weekly or like hourly, like very, very quickly and easily, especially if it's just AI written slop in your scripts.
I mean, at that point, surely AI can learn all of his movements if he's made hundreds of videos. I remember that setup. I don't remember what channel this was about this guy.
Because I remember him watching, he reviewed phones and iPhones and all sorts.
Yes, iPhone. That's what I saw. Like, where is it that the thumbnails were like just an iPhone, like kind of laid flat? And I remember those. I don't remember.
But stuff, I mean, this is the thing. Like, someone finds stuff that performs well, you do more of it. And if you're going to earn money and, if you're going to get sponsors, then I guess, the world keeps turning, but it's just adding more AI slop to existing AI slop. It's, very frustrating when people are generating, genuinely creating new content and not using AI slop are the ones that have like less visibility on YouTube now, because getting pushed down by people that are just crushing it with so many videos about rubbish.
I wonder if the dislike button would help here.
Like, if it existed, maybe.
Seeing that, this is like 62% dislike, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, but that would be handy. But that's basically all the stuff I had for today. So I don't know if you want to move on to your bits and bobs. We can crack on with the Lauri show.
Yes. So I'm always interested in the person that is behind, like with the camera and then behind the camera, because I always thought that, I'm watching interviews of like whoever, whether it's like Donald Trump, when it was all the election was going on, and everybody's asking the same question, same thing. What I would like to know is like, what you do on a Tuesday? Like, what you do? Like, when you wake up, do you have coffee? Or like, what do you do differently? And I know Trump is a bit of a spicy figure here at the moment, but like whoever it is, whether it's like a celebrity or I don't know, Alex Hormozi or whoever you're watching, like what
you want my morning routine? Is that the question? You want my morning routine?
No. What I want to know is I mean, we've talked a little bit about the trends, but before we do that, how many subscribers, followers have you got across social media right now? Do you know?
Roughly, I know. I have 315,000, I think, on the main YouTube channel, and I don't know, a few thousand here and there on other channels. I find this really funny. I've got a friend of mine who he came to Vegas with me for CES, and he realized that content creation is like a thing and you can make a career out of it. And he messaged me constantly being like, he started a channel a few months ago or so, and he's, I posted this video, it got 2 subscribers, but it lost 1 subscriber. Like, what do you think? And I'm just like, dude, I check YouTube Studio maybe once a day, maybe. I generally, and probably maybe that's just a sign of the times on, like, because probably it's bad news when you go to YouTube Studio that I just look at it less and less. I don't want to be depressed every time I look at it.
But do you watch your YouTube Studio more on Pete Matheson's channel or like the Super Cool channel? That's smaller.
Both equally. The super, so more on the main channel, because that's where that's the main business machine. That's we're making videos. We've got a team hired for that channel. We're pushing videos out. We're getting paid sponsors. Like there's definitely more time and effort in that channel. My rulings around everything else, like the Pete Matheson Cool channel, the Pokemon channel, like anything else is just like a minimum effort possible. And I don't care about the results. It's more about having fun. And if some of them do good, like on the Cool channel, it's literally just a one take. I sit down, 0 editing, push the video out. If it does well, amazing. If it didn't, then no harm. There's no cost involved. There's no brand disappointed. It's just I've made the video.
So, like, the reason I'm asking this is because when we're getting 10 subscribers on our car channel, we're like, hey, there's 10 subscribers. On the big one, you get 1,000. You're like, I don't care. So like the scale is like completely different because you stop caring at some point. Like you say, your friend's like, oh, I've lost 1 or 2 subscribers. It matters like more when you're smaller because it feels like, whoa, we've gained like 10 or 15% subscribers of our channel this month. Whereas like when you get bigger, it probably doesn't doesn't matter as much.
Very true. I also find that to somewhat of a degree, I agree that subscribers don't matter as much nowadays, because it doesn't seem to have any relation on how many views you get on a video. I think for me, with the main channel, like my not the whole goal of running with things, but like, you know, everyone runs a business to generate money at the end of the day. Like, we're all in this to like provide for our families and lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. And the defining thing for me is if things are going well or not, is like we're still earning the money we've got and we can still pay our bills, and you know, everyone can pay the mortgages and all that kind of stuff, and we're just like, we're coasting along. And this is what I've said a lot to anytime we've had like any form of external consultants, and like we don't need to earn more money in the business. We don't, you know, inevitably it will go up because, well, it should do. Views should go up, subscribers should go up, brand deals should go up over the years, inflation goes up, so everything else should go up. But generally speaking, I have zero intention to grow a massive team, become a media corporation, hire hundreds of people. It's just like, I want as small a team as possible, be as efficient as we can, have fun, make some cool videos. Yes, of course, make money by doing it and get some good sponsors, but just like do some good fun. Like my previous job, I hired staff, we had customers, everything was like, everyone was demanding from every kind of different angle, and it was way less fun than I get to make videos now. I get to like go to cool countries to like try out new phones, or, you know, brands send monitors, and we've had 2 TVs arrive yesterday, and it's like I get to like review and compare TVs as a job. Like, how cool is that? And it will never cool. That will never, like, you know, diminish for me. Like, I very much remember, like, it could be and I always think of Peter Lindgren, who's in our little WhatsApp chat, and he always used to work at, was it DPD or something, like DHL or something?
DHL,
and, like,
yes.
Going back from like YouTuber to DHL, like, it's very easy to go like, well, whatever the situation, it's a better situation being here making YouTube videos than it is in DHL, where you're probably, you know, whatever your last job where you're an employee and you don't get to choose what you're doing, you get told what to do. Of course, there's security behind that. You get paid. Or potentially maybe not if you get let go, because lots of AI stuff's happening. But at least in YouTube, you are somewhat in control. And this is where, again, I go back to, if things aren't working, if views aren't there, if you're not getting brand deals, then you figure out what you need to do to make money and pay the bills at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much there where we could take this conversation about AI and like where this is going. But what I would like to know is, out of the how many years you've done YouTube, your experience on YouTube, you've seen where YouTube's arrived now, like what you've learned up to this point, and then where you see the future's going. Where are you in it right now? Because you can, like, we've spoken and we can be like negative about it, you've been positive about, you know, like what we can do, but like, tell me both sides. The negative, like where this is going, where you're at, and then the positive, like where you're at with YouTube and the whole platform as a business thing.
I mean, it's just...
How many years have you done this? Start with that.
Good point. Good question. So yeah, we're at probably 6-7 years. So for me, so I had my IT business. We started making videos with the IT business to market the IT business. And then we sold it a couple of weeks before COVID, and then carried on making videos throughout COVID, and it just kind of grew from there. The benefit being in that through COVID, no one had anything better to do than sit down and watch YouTube. So lots of YouTube channels. I don't know if it was the same for you.
Era. Yeah,
exactly. Loads of channels just took off through COVID, because it was just, everyone was sat down, everyone was getting the whatever it was, the government in the States just gave everyone like thousands.
Furlough thing.
It was furlough in the UK, and in the States they were giving like handouts, weren't they? I think at some point.
Yeah.
And so, like, what do you do with that? You spend it on tech. You sign up to subscriptions. You invest in stocks, because that was a big thing through COVID as well. So, like, loads of money happened through COVID, and then it's just been like the inevitable, like, slow decline. We did some great affiliate revenue through COVID, and like we're still riding on some of those relationships with those brands, even though like conversions obviously are now way down over what they were in COVID. It's just a whole like industry led thing. But yeah, in terms of like where we are with things now, it could go either way. You know, the positive spin is that, you know, content creators are also always going to be needed, and we always have our own, you know, unique spin, and there's different angles. I always see that. I think you have to, like, if you're running a business, you have to look at you're just fixing problems. You know, something's not working. Cool. How do we fix that? What do we do to work around that, or find the business, or make yourself more efficient and lean so you don't have those expenses anymore because it's not don't have the income. There was what was it called? The where AdSense disappeared overnight for a lot of people. Can't remember what the wording for that thing was called.
Ad apocalypse.
No, remember where channels got demonetized because fake traffic thing. I can't remember what it's called. Channels. It happened about a couple of years ago, where YouTube would basically just send you a message saying your channel's been demonetized for fake traffic. And
I know a channel actually who had that.
And when you asked YouTube what's going on, they would just point you at a webpage that said you shouldn't be sending fake traffic to your YouTube channel. But then you'd ask YouTube and be like, well, can you, like, which videos have the fake traffic? Like, can you point the direction of what's going? And they're like, nope, sorry, but you need to stop doing it. But most people I know, all of them were not doing it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And who's to say that, one of your competitors couldn't have bought some fake views to point them at your channel? Because you could do that very easily on YouTube.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough,
you've had brands do that as well.
Yeah,
sometimes.
And that's some of the biggest YouTube channels on the planet buy their views and are just as successful. There was very interestingly, I saw Mr. Beast put up some data, or someone else found some data out recently that actually Mr. Beast's organic views are massively down year on year, but they're bumping that up and still claiming such amazing growth because they're promoting their videos is the official YouTube term. So they're promoting their videos to get the views and the subscribers to then declare, hey, we've grown by X million subscribers. That was a very interesting wake-up call because, he's doing it at that level. And then at what point, and I don't mind people doing it, it's the bragging about it that winds me up. Like, hey, we did 100,000 subscribers. You bought 99,000 of them, but like, congratulations. But yeah,
so where do you see the future in this?
Yes,
like we've seen this, we both see this. We see lots of this happening behind the scenes. Literally, the last message I sent you was YouTube's not as innocent as I thought it once be. Where's the future in this? Because it's not just the channels that are doing this. Part of this is YouTube setting it up a certain way. Part of this is YouTube setting the course. I know there's this, hey, customers are going to demand a certain thing and YouTube's going to offer this, but it's also YouTube setting the path for the future. Where do you see this going?
I mean, YouTube just feels like many other platforms. It's just a big marketing platform. Like brands want to sponsor ads in front of videos, so they obviously pay for ads. They also, buy ads within our videos to promote themselves again, and that funds the whole like the wheel keeps spinning side of things. And so the number of channels that are just making it for the pure love of making it is very, very small and few and far between. And it's a step when you suddenly get to a certain size and then you start taking those brand deals and then you're just on that wheel like everyone else. You're doing the brand deals to fund your life and pay your mortgage and everything. So I feel like it's only really going one direction. The question is I feel like it's like a question of who's going to stick around, because I go on press trips and we're on press trips with some very, very big, like traditional media, like your newspapers and your, the tech radars, big publications online. And we're hearing that a lot of them have like let a lot of their teams go, and they're actually like some of them have smaller teams than I have. And these are like the big worldwide global publishers of like tech reviews because of AI summaries and like. But then who's going to be left? Like, is it going to be at the stage where all of those places go? And a lot of those places are now trying to focus on video media because that's the next big thing, although I feel like that's even like beyond it now. And so like, it's just a question of who's going to be left. And for me, it feels like, let's just make hay while the sun's shining. Let's have some fun, make some good videos. Again, there's all we can do is adjust to the times. And I don't know where it's going to go. AI is just such a big thing that maybe we'll all just be like, I don't know if you're using like AI voiceover to like fix problems in some videos. Like we do that quite often. If I say the wrong thing or make a mistake, the team just go use 11 Labs to put AI Pete into the video to not need me to sit there and record my voice.
Useful. I should do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it starts. But it's things like that. But like, how far are we from that to it being actual AI Pete? Like we just saw with the AI Master channel. Like, is it AI? Does it matter? There's AI is getting so good at like the intonation on how you're saying and pronouncing words and copying your accent and your like everything and your your visual actions and everything. Like it feels like it's only going to be a matter of time. And so have fun whilst it lasts, make money whilst you can. I think I've already seen Facebook tease, was it 6 months, a year ago, that like their almost end goal is that an ads, brand will come onto their platform and say, I've got this product, I want to sell it to this market, go. And it will just go and generate ads with fake people and fake everything with completely 100% AI generators. They don't need to hire influencers. They can just click a button and just pay Meta, of course, because Meta make money. And that's it, and cuts real people out of the whole process. And so when that comes onto YouTube? Because YouTube's very keen to put AI features into shorts and do all sorts of things. It's interesting, YouTube. It's a double-edged sword because they've got their own business to run, of course, but it does feel like it's very anti-creator a lot of the time. But they're so quick and loud to shout about the big creators on the platform. If you're seeing success with TV formats and I wouldn't say the Colin and Samir's, but like the Mr. Beasts, there's the same faces in lots of events, and they get preferential treatment to the new features a lot of time on YouTube. And that's not like a woe is me. We should have that preferential treatment as well. But like there was one time, and it does wind me up. I saw a YouTube article on YouTube's website from a creator. They were like saying like, hey, you look at this creator, they've grown so quickly and their content's incredible. And their content was just reusing other people's viral videos. They would green screen themselves in front of it and be like, click on the like button if you like this. Click on the subscribe and that was their video. And like, but yet they're some big media conglomerate, look how amazing business person they are. And it's just like, but they've just ripped off everyone else's content and made a business out of it. And like you're promoting them. And it's just like, that's the stuff that winds me up.
I think it is a double-edged sword, but I've seen a take from PBD, Patrick Bet-David. I don't know if you know this guy. Valuetainment, massive, like gets more media news than CNN, ABC, and all of these across Valuetainment. If you want to look up, he's like a big business guy, and he was saying, look, if YouTube looks at their business and then figures out or tries to figure out, how do we increase this? How do we make this bigger? They're looking at the bigger channels and they're going to ask, are they going to stop? No. Like big channels, they've got systems, they've got people, the machine's going, they can't stop. Like, the Johnny Harris's, all of the medias, all the big Mr. Beast, he can't stop. Mr. Beast says that if it was about my mental health, I would already stopped. So they can't stop, right? The machine's going. What about smaller channels? Like, how do we then help them? Because that is basically just generating new business. So if they just push the algorithm towards smaller channels, which we've heard now lots of times from lots of different places, and we're experiencing this, that just pushes a lot more of the new machines being made on YouTube. And that is like, Mr. Beast has to buy views to show that, hey, I'm still big. The bigger channels are buying views. Like behind the scenes on all of our WhatsApp group, we see lots of creators, buying views, but that generates more business for YouTube. But generally the overall quality and content is actually going down. The organic thing that everybody loved YouTube for is going down. It's not performing. I mean, I loved curating my subscription feed. I was like, I created different channels because I was like, okay, here I'm watching car content, here I'm watching tech content, here I'm watching this, just so that my algorithm or like the subscription feed is this. I want to keep up with these channels. But now this is not working anymore because we've been pushed what someone thinks that I like watching. But I think where I'm going with this is, overall, the quality of the content that we're enjoying is actually diminishing. And I think that's what makes me a little bit worried about the future of like who's going to create the OG YouTube type of thing where people are organically connecting with each other. We know where the AI connection is going. People, are supposed to be more connected. No, more and more people are looking for the human connection. So if they're looking for the human connection, where is that human connection going to happen on the internet? Have you thought about that? Which leads me to the next question is, I know AI is a bit of a topic, right? And everyone's got spicy views on this, but you and me both use and hate and love AI behind the scenes. Where are you at with this, especially coming from the point of, YouTube future and how you're using this? Because tell us some of the amazing things how you're using AI and what it can do for you, and then some of the things where it's absolute flop slop.
Yes. So answering your first question is, one thing I want to say, have you ever done the test of how long does it take to find you on YouTube on a brand new channel?
How does this work? No.
So this was something that Paddy Galloway taught me when I sat on his accelerator program. If you create a brand new YouTube channel, brand new YouTube account as a viewer, and all you can do is click on those top, they used to be 8 results, whatever it is, but like all you can do is click on those top few results. So you look at the videos it first presents you, click on a video, and you're trying to find how many clicks or how many videos you need to watch to teach YouTube that you want to find your content. So like, your style of content. So you maybe find like a computer related video on that first homepage, then you're dialing into maybe a PC building video, and then you'll get more of that content. Like how many times do you need to do that to find your content? Because that's the same process that other people are going through before YouTube presents one of your videos to them. I haven't done that recently. I did it a long time ago.
Is this like an online thing that you can do? Or
you just create a brand new, you could create literally create a brand new YouTube, Google user or whatever it is, and just incognito mode, go and browse YouTube and try and find your video essentially. But you can't search for your video. You can only click on the videos that it gives you. You can't prompt it. It's literally just following the homepage. Homepage. Okay. So that homepage feed, and you could do suggested maybe down the side maybe, but it's just going through YouTube as a viewer, seeing how many tries it takes you for YouTube to actually give one of your videos out as a option. I find that's quite an interesting. We should probably do that ourselves, both of us, to see how long that takes. Your question about like how do I use it nowadays? So I very, very heavily use Claude for a lot of businessy things, less in the creative process, but we're just starting to look at some creative stuff. Actually, there was a video I watched from Matt, who is a camera channel. He's like a wedding photographer, and he posted a video about like an AI editing thing that can basically do the first cut. Who is Matt
Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt Johnson, that's the one, yeah. And he posted a video about you can dump all your footage into this system, and it will AI transcribe videos, organize footage, know what's in all the B-roll clips, and basically organize. You can give it a script so it knows how to edit along to your script, and it will give you like the first cut of your video with B-roll placed within like 20 minutes to half an hour, or however long it takes for that process to run. And so like that's one we're starting to look into and just see what happens, because then our editor can spend time doing the intelligent thing of making it all look good and sound good and grade and transitions and music and all that kind of stuff. But on the business side of things, my God, Claude is just incredible. I've got it hooked up to all of my systems, like Xero accounts for banking stuff, our Monday production system, which I've also then had it rewrite a web-based system on top of Monday to the point where we might not need Monday anymore. It is pulling in from our email inbox, brand deals, inquiries. I'm just having a look at it now. It does a schedule for us, so it knows what videos we're packaging and scripting and shooting and editing, who should be doing those. I've got a whole like brand tracker system, which dives into my emails and knows when brands email us. I can then set them for like, well, I need to follow up with this brand every like 3 months at minimum. And it'll then prompt me, this brand is, X days or weeks overdue. You should reach out. It also looks up online, finds news about stuff, even if the brand we've spoken to within a month or two, but they've just posted some news about a new product launch or rumored product launch, it will flag that and say, hey, maybe reach out to this brand. It does so much stuff. Even I created a Shopify store for my kids' 3D printing, because we've got a 3D printer now with one of the brands that sponsored us. Created a Shopify store. We took a load of photos, and again, I linked it up with Shopify, dropped it into Claude and said, can you just like dump all this and put it into Shopify, my store? Can you create the titles, the descriptions? Can you look up pricing online to find out how much roughly they would sell for, and just like create them all as drafts? And again, you just click go, leave it for a few minutes, and the whole Shopify store was built with like taxes, and it is nuts what you can do. And I can't wait for AI to kill us and make us all jobless. But like, this is where we are in the world.
What about the frustration of Claude? Like, where have you found the limit? Where's like where you think, oh no, this is so bad, and this?
It's
Or is it just love relationship?
Fact checking is always it's a love-hate one, because and we've all had a thing like we have scripts. I use AI to help me like research and write and structure and those kind of things, and then I write things. But even with that, and even with 2 or 3 of us here and the brand checking things over in the script, we still made some technical mistakes in a script. So it's not always right, and in some cases it's better to look up the stats yourself. Problem is, you look up the stats yourself and you're also still working from AI summaries on those stats, or you're working from websites that then copied those stats from somewhere else that was cited by AI, and it's just, again, enshittification of the internet. It's good and bad. You just have to know when to like make sure you cite your sources and double check information. Even using like different engines like Claude and Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever to like check each other's homework. They've all got their own strengths, but yeah, there's inherently a lot of weaknesses in them still.
Have you used Cowork on Claude and tried to build, like you mentioned, you like build some web something? Have you tried building something? The reason I'm asking this is I'm almost finished building a tool that would help me generate reports for brands.
Okay.
So if you're doing a deal that's all across your social medias, right? So it would pull in certain videos that I could take and generate all the information that basically a brand would want, right? But the thing is, what I have found is when I'm building it, it like breaks itself and then sometimes fixes itself. What I mean is, you get to a point where you're like, oh, can you fix this? You're like, okay, great, it's fixed. And then you're like, but why did you break the previous feature? Like, why have you just broken that page now? That's not fixed. Oh, yeah, sorry. Like, my code is not, like, finished writing that, like, page or row or something. And I'm like, what? And then, I don't know, I have a theory that when I've left it for a couple of days and then continue building it, it almost, like, has like forgotten, or like when it tries to find where it left off is like struggling to exactly find that. It needs to compress like the
compress the conversation because it's too much for
exactly.
it to remember.
Yeah. Does that mean that it just makes itself a little bit more dumber, or like kind of has to take the measuring stick not as precise but more broad, if that makes sense? And quantizes it down to less accurate? Like, I don't know how this works.
I had a very similar thing of like, create something for me, and then you have to tell it that it's broken and not working. And then like, I was trying to tell it, well, you obviously have logs, like, and if you don't have logs, and then look at the logs and learn like, why should I be copying and pasting the error messages into you when you should be able to see them and fix them?
Literally.
So what happened, a few things fixed that. One, in Cowork mode, you can connect it to Chrome and get it to go and do its own testing and load the page in Chrome. Second was when I had access to Fable. I can't remember the terminology, but Matt, who works with me, is more of a developer background. I wrote like a test process with Fable, and that created like 150 tests that it needs to run through to validate when it makes any changes, and that includes testing all aspects of the system that I designed. I say I designed, Claude wrote for me, I just gave it the inspiration. Now, having done that, so having Fable write that, whenever I use Claude, any other model in Claude, it always writes, always knows those tests and runs through those tests with every change it makes. And that's generally fixed a lot. So between it, having Chrome, control over Chrome to be able to load it and go like, oh, I noticed the page didn't load properly and there's an error message. Let me just fix that. And the tests, it generally doesn't have those problems anymore, interestingly. But yeah, I have used Cowork a lot. That's like the main, I kind of jumped between Cowork and Code, but I like Cowork because it can integrate with Chrome locally, but also you can very easily, if there's an issue, you can just go like screenshot the issue and paste it into Cowork and it fixes it. Whereas within Code, you're in Terminal, so you can't really like screenshot other than copy and paste text or anything.
Yeah. No, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing, like lots of screenshots and putting there. But then also because it's on Chrome, I'm saying like, hey, I'm like driving home. I'm like away from the keyboard. Can you go there and then like test it, fix it? But the weird thing is like when it's trying to like pull a Facebook feed or build a Facebook feed or Instagram feed, it like builds the feed, builds like, hey, I pull the views in and then comments in, likes don't work, and then titles are all over the place. Then I'm like, hey, can you fix the titles and things? When it fixes the titles and likes, then suddenly the comments and like views are gone. And then you're like, but it's clever enough to like understand what it's done wrong and then what to do in order to like build the feature. But then how can you like know what to do and how to fix, but then destroy something you've just built at the same time? I'm like, anyway,
and here we are with AI. Yes, pretty much. It's frustratingly good.
So would you have $1 million, 1 million subscribers?
$1 million, surely. Like, who cares about subscribers at that point?
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. It's one of those things. This is the whole, like, do you have like $1,000 a month for life or like the $1 million up front or whatever it is, isn't it?
Yeah. No. Okay. Let's say if the subscribers are, I don't know, good subscribers, would you have more subscribers or $1 million? Because I think it's a very interesting question. I saw this, like, this was a Mr. Beast poll there. And then I was like, oh, I pressed 1 million subscribers, but then I looked at the comments and there was lots of channels with millions of subscribers and they were saying, I would choose $1 million. And I was like,
I'd agree with them.
And I would want to know, like, why would you agree with them?
I think it goes back to my comments earlier that subscribers don't mean as much as they used to. Subscribers are meaningless. You know, views are king as far as YouTube and as far as brands concerned. Views are king and still are king, even though you point out that views can also be faked. But I'm a very financially aware kind of person. I feel like, you know, if you were given £1 million, you could just invest that very wisely and be a lot better off than if you were to invest 1 million subscribers, which could, you know, there are channels out there that probably have 1 million and post a video and still get 5 views. It's not about subscribers, whereas money's a bit more tangible. And yeah, the stock market could crash, but you can probably do some wise investments with that. That's true.
If you had 1 million subscribers, how long do you think it would take you to make $1 million?
Please, can everyone pay a $1 into my bank account, and all 1 million subscribers could pay it and be done overnight? I don't know. Again, it's not about subscribers. You know, we've all seen that brands don't care about subscribers; they care about views. So if you're going to make money, you either need to generate a load of views from AdSense, or you generate a load of views and make brands pay you money. Or there's the what is it? I can't remember the channel name, but the guy found like the infinite glitch, where you could find brands that do a brand deals for like CPM or whatever it was, and then you can buy the views for cheaper than they're paying you. So you just kind of feed it infinitely and then make your money that way. There's like a, you know, if you really want to try and hack and be very, very disloyal and bad at what you're doing and scam people into it.
Well, this is kind of where I'm going with this, because as much as we say subscribers don't matter, the brands want you to post the video on your big channel, right? Not on your small channel. So they actually do matter to the brands. And when you're trying to educate them, saying like, hey, I think this would work better for you, they have their set goals that their manager or upper management has sent or given to them. And then we're like kind of stuck in this, like you and me would probably know, hey, I think this would actually work better for you, but you still want to do this. And you want us to post it on that channel, even though it's, you know, like this is not the niche, you know, it would actually work better on that channel. And for that niche, it's smaller, but it would be better. That's why I was asking this, because I think if you had good, loyal niche and following, I think if you had 1 million subscribers, if you look at the 1 million subscriber channel that has good following, okay, who can we take? We can't even take MKBHD. Who is some big tech YouTuber that has? Okay, let's take what's his name? Oh man, the guy who Andreas Vivosa.
Andres Verdoza, yeah.
Yeah, him, right? Imagine if you could have million subscribers on his channel. I bet you could make $1 million very quickly.
I mean, he drives a lot of nice cars, so probably.
Yeah.
But again, this is like this. Again, this is like the nuance with YouTube is that I love his videos. I think they're so well. Like every video is like a cinema masterpiece. It's so good. But like brands want that, and same with similar with Chevron Salmon. He's like another creator that just like blew up not overnight, because you know it's the whole like everyone thinks it's an overnight success, but it took you like 10 years to get there kind of thing. But his videos, every video is shot so well, and brands like paying for that. Viewers like watching that as well. So there's that kind of thing. And so if you spend your time and effort putting all of that effort into like making your videos look and sound incredible, and they are like watching a movie, then you get noticed and you can stand out from the crowd. I would love to do that, but then again, that would be going from like making one video a week to making like one video a month. I would just love to spend a few days with those kind of people, just to be like, how the hell do you like? You ever watch those creators where their videos are just like built up piece by piece with them all in different locations? I'm like, how did you like string that sentence together across 5 different countries? It's just, I just love to be inside their head and understand how that works out.
Yes, I mean, this is a good question. If you could sit down some of the YouTubers, let's say 2 YouTubers, and spend a day with them, who would they be? It could be a YouTuber. It could be like any channel that maybe you're watching that you would think you would find the most benefit from. Who would you like to sit down and actually get some information from?
It's interesting. It's interestingly and a difficult one, because not everyone's in the same position. Because like we were just saying, you know, you could spend all your time and effort in making a bigger video, but it's very easy as individual creators like us to, you know, compare yourselves to everybody else and then go like, well, why aren't our videos like that? Why aren't we better? Why aren't we getting more views? But I've got like a wife and kids, and I'm also very protective around my time. I go to the gym every morning. I have weekends off. Whereas I know like the now Andres, I've seen him post multiple times that he's still in the office at like 11, 12 o'clock at night, still editing. They've got like such huge like work ethic. I'm sure they've got a balanced life as well, and lots of other time to do what they're doing. But no one's in the same boat as you are, and everyone's creating slightly different content. Everyone's got slightly different expertise and understanding and knowledge of everything. For people, I'd love to hang out with Andres. I met him at one of the Samsung Unpacks for like a brief second. It would be cool. I've heard stories from the Canadian guys that travel around with him that he's just always got his camera on and recording, and he's just like up all night editing, scripting, like tying clips, B-roll clips together with like the wording that he's scripted, and like there's just so much work going on. And again, it's nice to admire that and see that and go, that's just freaking awesome. But I also like my sleep, and I'm going to go to bed at whenever it is. Like, I'm not going to do that. And that's why I'm not going to get his results, because I'm not going to stay up until like midnight to edit. I have editors that, you know, edit 9 to 5 and stuff. It's a completely different kind of way of running things. But yeah, it'd be cool to hang out with him and just understand a bit more about his process. I actually thought about Becca. She left The Verge recently, taking tech outside. She would be quite cool to hang out and just again understand, because she was, when I was thinking about the whole like stringing a sentence together. It's going to sound horrible that I can't remember specifically. Try searching for like taking tech outside, Becky.
Taking tech.
Becca Farce. Becca.
Becca Farce.
That's the one. So she, I believe it was The Verge she left. So she's been quite a recent like new YouTuber, and
I've seen.
It's just interesting the way she makes her videos, because again, like she's stringing sentences across being in different places at different times, and it makes for a very interesting watch.
But when it is videos like this and Andreas, is it possible to actually like scale it? Because if you're creating it like that, how is your editor, or like, is it actually useful? Oh, I hope this wasn't a camera. So is it actually scalable? What I mean is it helpful having an editor who will do some of the work? Because if you have to explain it as long as they're doing it and explaining all that's happening in your mind the way you created it, is YouTube better as a solo creator rather than a team? Is where I'm going with this.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, a question for every YouTube creatory type person out there, because there's no one setup that's the right setup.
Obviously, what about
this
you?
Is one of the really difficult things about growing a YouTube business, because you kind of, you know, when I was like running the IT business, you just go like, this is like a really simple process. You need more customers, you get more customers, you need more engineers to service the customers, you get more customers, you need another engineer, and it just keeps on growing. And at some point you need a finance team because you realize you've got too much finance stuff to deal with. Then you need account managers, and it just very easily and slowly grows. With YouTube, it's really, and we were just discussing this the other day, because like, what do you do? And again, keeping in mind, I want a small team.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have myself, we have Matt, who's like production manager and takes care of all like the admin emails, helps with like scripting videos and B-roll shot lists and just stuff around the studio space here, brand emails and that kind of stuff. We've got 2 editors. So we have one in person here, we have a remote editor, and we have an agency who looks after brand deals. But the agency is great at finding the brand deals that the agency gets. They've got lots of good relationships with like Chinese brands. They've just hired like a Western partnerships type person, so maybe more, you know, Western brands. But actually, does it make sense to have someone that's, you know, maybe more of a PR role, like hiring a PR person whose job it is in-house to work for this business, to go and do outreach and make those connections with those big name brands to, you know, do brand deals with, or just to make connections. But then it gets to the point of like, that sounds great, but then there's an extra person in the team and I don't like people. So what do we do here? So your question as to like whether that's scalable for like Becca, again, it depends. If she's happy, like she's obviously getting great views. I would say she's got a great community, and like loads of people I know like really like and respect her and love her work. Like, at what point do you need to scale? There's like the Matt Diavella approach, where he was scaling and became a big team kind of person, and then he fired everyone and just became a solo creator again. But then on the flip side, you've got Ali Abdaal, who, you know, grew very, very quickly, fired a few people because he grew too quickly, but he still has a team of, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 people around him. It's just every time you hire someone, that's just another overhead that you've got to cover. That means you know got to get another bit of revenue from somewhere, whether that's a brand deal, AdSense, other revenue from some other blog post, website, ad generation, something or other. It's more stuff. The smaller the creator, the smaller the overhead, and the less you have to do every month. So you get more freedom by being smaller, for sure. Like Linus Tech Tips, my God, like he has to produce gazillion videos a month to cover costs, let alone make profit. So it's just a whole different business.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I'm asking this is because I know a very good friend of mine who recently actually started a business on the side, or started focusing more on the side rather than full-time of YouTube, because he said YouTube is better part-time than full-time for me. And I was like, this is interesting. And he's always been like kind of ahead of where the market is going. But then we do look at channels like MKBHD, Linus, Mr. Who's the Boss, who have got huge teams and they have managed to scale to that point. And the question is like, what's next? You know, MKBHD is saying no to Netflix deals. Mr. Beast is saying yes to Netflix deals. What are you trying to scale to? And that's why I would love to get like your point of view, because YouTube, as much as this is annoying, the interesting thing is if you stick to a strategy, there are so many different ways and strategies that can work on YouTube, which is one of the best sides of YouTube. If you want to do it on the side and just like kind of talk in a car park onto a phone, it can be absolutely blown up. if you want to do it the highest production, this can work. But I suppose it depends on like where you're at with it. I know watching Matt Armstrong, I absolutely love his videos recently, and he's just incredible the way he tells the story, but at the same time realizing how much footage you capture. And you mentioned the same thing about Andreas, is having the camera constantly on and filming everything. Yes, it gives you lots of flexibility, but it also generates so much more work. Like someone's going to have to look through this footage. Like I was watching recently when it was Matt Armstrong was fixing the Porsche GT3 RS, and in there he was saying, "Oh, I rewatched through the footage of when we built the engine the second time, and then literally the second time he built the engine, there was maybe like 2 minutes that he had cut into like the video, but that was like a 3 hour. He said, "Oh, it took us 3 hours to like undo it from the car and like pull it apart and build it again," and I was thinking, he just watched through 3 hours of footage. Bear in mind, I bet this was not just one camera. Like, from this angle and from that angle and a bit of this. And I'm thinking, how do you, because you and me, I think we're trying to be as efficient as possible with all of this process. And I think this is what a lot of people don't see behind the scenes, is you're trying to, have it as efficient as possible, raise a family, spend as much time with your family, especially because you've got small children. Like, how do you scale this, build it, while having all of these things around? Because you compare yourself to channels like we've just said, who are editing. Matt Armstrong was like, "Oh, it's 1:00 in the morning. We just finished the, swapping the engine," and I'm like, I could not do that. Like literally, this would not work. Which leads me to like where I'm going with this. Brain freeze.
I just want to pick up on something, because there's something we've picked up recently as well with you talking about like how other people make their content, and I find it's an interesting comparison between like Linus Tech Tips and his channel and his media empire, and his very overproduced, very very scripted formats. And he's had a few of his team leave the team recently, Jaker and Zip Tie Tuning and a few other guys.
Yes.
And I've noticed I've noticed in the comment section on like Jaker's just bought a house and is kitting it out and doing the whole like DIY renovation thing. Linus has bought a tech house and is doing it his way. And just like Linus's side of things, obviously they've got a lot more money, a lot more budget. They've like stripped their house back to the woodwork essentially and started building a fresh house essentially. Which at that point just becomes unrealistic for a lot of people. Like you're not going to watch that and go like, "Oh, cool, I can do that." Like no one can really rip their house down to the bare bones because they're living in the house still. Whereas Jake's and normally Linus approaches, and the comments reflected it of like, "Hey, cool, here's something we did, and let me just show you how we did it." Versus Jaker's video where he's literally, got the camera rolling as he's going like, "Well, this is the problem I need to try and figure out how to fix today. Let's just like bring you along on the ride." Much unlike Matt Armstrong's videos, like, let's just bring you along as we try and figure this mess out in front of us. And it's two very, very different formats. And yet Jaker's getting a hell of a lot of views on his videos. And it's something we noticed in some of our videos that kind of then reconfirmed to me that actually people want to see the weird bits in between of you trying things and setting stuff up and testing stuff. They don't want to see the polished end result was, here is the new thing, and this is what I did with my 2 weeks of testing it and what I found. They want to see you go through those 2 weeks of actually testing and playing with it.
That's the human interaction, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's where you like relate to the person.
And then you get a few more like, more personal connection. And, when they get upset, you can see how they react when they're upset or when they're frustrated or if they swear. And, you just get to find if that's like your kind of guy or girl that you want to like, spend some time with and watch more content of. Whereas when you do the scripted stuff, you don't really see much of the actual personal. You can script in personality, but it's very different to just a unscripted. And I've thought about that a lot, about the whole scripted and unscripted, but it's very different to a less scripted you can still have scripted moments in it, but I like bringing in the unscripted bits, or at least like stuff that's added in to like give it the flavor. But I'm thinking a lot more about that with seeing what we're seeing. And obviously, like, I don't know if you saw the controversy around Linus Jet or whatever it was when Linus reviewed like his private jet he got, and you could just see the sadness on I can't remember who he had with him, but one of his team with him was like, oh yeah, just you're showing me around this like, $1 million jet, and like, can I have a pay rise, please? No, sorry, we can't afford it. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's just a very interesting time.
It is interesting time, but at the same time, like, not to defend Linus, but I understand the thought process there. I understand.
Oh, sure, because it's a business decision, because it generates views and content.
Exactly, because you're thinking, I have reviewed every single piece of screen, right? 100-inch is like small for me now. Sony needs to send me 115. I need to get the biggest projector. You've done this. Like, what is next? Because you've put yourself on that path of people wanting to see the thing that you can't do. Because, like, you've become the person that shows me what I can't do, right? The upgrades that I could never do, the ridiculous pool cooling server that, like, no one is able to do. But you need to generate these topics, these types of situations to generate money. And I'm like, okay, the jet, okay, I could see where this comes in. The house, in case people don't understand how this works, the house, you're thinking, oh, now I can make the lawnmower deal, because at Linus Tech Tips, I can't just review a lawnmower. Suddenly we're doing a tech house, we can review the lawnmower, the pool cleaner, all of these like garden and house things, household things,
smart light switches, robotic cleaners,
exactly.
Motorized curtains, everything.
And you can now go to the new household brands that are not affected by tech, Armageddon of DRAM and just interest, and then work with those brands because they still have budgets. Because I haven't seen a Seasonic or Asus sponsor a video on Linus's channel recently, just because like they don't want to push their products, because they're probably making a loss on every single product they sold, and the just budget isn't there, which kind of like makes sense in there. But I really like the aspect, actually, what you said about the personal connection and bringing people along the ride, because these are the types of videos that I enjoy watching the most as well. And I need to do more of that, actually. So this is interesting. But where I wanted to go with this is, behind the scenes, what are some of your biggest frustrations? You've mentioned the joy. Obviously, we can enjoy the tech and review this. That was a dream, like, I remember, if you remember 7 years ago, you were thinking, oh, if I could only work with X brand, LG or Samsung, and Nvidia, Asus or Intel or AMD or whatever they were for you. I know I've made it. And now you're living in it. It's good to remind ourselves that, you're kind of living the dream for a lot of people. But this always comes with sides that you don't see, and perhaps you yourself didn't see 7 years ago. So now, what would you say to yourself 7 years back, like yourself 7 years ago, being in this moment? What are some of the things that you did not expect to be kind of frustration, and just some of the struggles behind the scenes? This is quite raw now. This is raw. Maybe I'll start just saying something so that maybe gives you more time to think. I think, to me, behind the scenes, the biggest stress is trying to figure out how I can invest into people where the whole industry is heavily AI oriented. If I unpack that, then it comes from like the human connection. I love people, right? I love spending time with people. I love talking to the brands. And by talking, that, not like talking to the brands, there's always a person that you talk to. It's always interesting hearing that. It's always interesting hearing the creator, because there's a person behind there. I love working with people who are creators, like my editor, super creative. I love to work with my video guy who's come along recently, because it's nice to see someone being passionate about video and then just enjoying that, because you can do something together and that. But that comes with the cost of, you have to pay their wages. You have now that responsibility. and then working with brands, you suddenly in this machine where you're not almost allowed to enjoy certain things, but you have to move on to the next thing in order to do what you love, which is like a weird circle that can get really depressive, but you have to like fight against it and always be positive around that. And I thought that all by scaling and making it bigger by involving more people, systems, tools to it that makes it easier, it's actually not necessarily easier. And if I started out, the starting out phase seems even more appealing and enjoyable to me rather than like this point now where it seems like you're living the dream, because there's certain like responsibilities that take the joy out, and then finding the balance in all of this and making a video in a time where tech is not so exciting and trying to help people who are frustrated about the same thing, and then taking the frustration out on the comments about your videos, and then trying to stay positive and still help them somehow. This is like a frustration that, because you don't want to be angry like at your viewers, but at the same time you're thinking, why are you being negative about this? I'm trying to help you here. Can't you see that? And then the views are going down and you're trying to like balance and trying to figure all of that. That to me is like the biggest frustration when my wife is saying, like, are you listening to me? I'm like, yeah. What are you thinking about? And you're thinking, I can't explain that. Doesn't matter. Nothing. You know, because that's like what's going on.
I think there's like with the whole views
Can you relate
thing,
to this?
Yeah, with the views and the comments thing, I when I said earlier in this podcast that we went through a process of like trying to fix our like positive comments and that kind of thing, it definitely improved things for me. And there was particular videos where we said to the team that like if we could just make these videos, I would happily accept lower views within reason. I would happily accept lower views if we get videos that perform like this in terms of comments performance, like people enjoying the video and happy and like positive comments. And I think a lot can be said for that. So yes, like with that, I always, business is just a business at the end of the day. There are problems, you need to fix those somehow. And if you're getting a lot of shitty comments, then yes, a big portion of those probably are ones you should be just blocking and hiding and ignoring because they're just nasty people. But if there's some common themes running through them, maybe there is actually things that you should be fixing and looking at, improving, which is going back to like what we did at one point, which is you write your scripts, but before you shoot the video, you think, what are the comments going to be on this video? Like, what can you predict the shitty comments on the video is going to be? How can we write that into our video before we shoot it to address all those comments? And so you're like heading them off at the pass. And that was very, very helpful because that ultimately means you make a better video. Some people think that all comments are good engagement, and whether they're good or bad, it's, if they're going to leave crummy comments, then great, because it's going to do your views a good thing. But I would rather have videos full of nice comments than bad comments at the end of the day. Even if it's less comments, I'd rather have less nicer comments than more worse comments. So I think there's a lot to be said. There's always some truth in some negativity if there's enough of it, I think. So just like find what lessons you can learn on that for sure. And around like the team building thing is really difficult because there's no one solution that fixes all, especially with AI. Like, you wait around long enough, you'll just have AI editors and you won't need anybody because you'll be AI, the editors will be AI, and like the script will be AI. You can just sit in your chair and collect the money, supposedly.
But you, at the same time, do love the process. We realize that we do love seeing the person going through some kind of journey and being along on the ride. So that, but
there's a certain element of it needs to be sustainable, because unless, and if you are, then great, but unless you are in the position where if your views were like one viewer video, could you carry on making those videos? It's like, we've seen people ask it a lot of the time when the views are like really, really bad and they're like, oh, I think I might need to go find a job. And it's just like, okay, well, what are you going to do about it then? It's like, well, I don't like making videos about what I used to make videos about. So like, I'm just not going to make those videos. And it's like, okay, but I would much rather make a slight change to the videos I make. Maybe I don't enjoy them as much because they're not the things I want to make. but I definitely want to make them, make those other type of videos way more than I did running an IT business. I don't want to go back and do that again. So I know where the boundaries lie between my like the worst thing that can happen as a content creator is you upset a sponsor. You don't post a video on time. You make a mistake in your video. We actually made a mistake in a video. We edited a video, sent the brand for approval. We got some feedback from the brand. We made the changes, and brand approved those changes. We went ahead and went to publish, and we actually posted the older version of the video that didn't have any of the changes in it. And so that's that's kind of the worst thing that can happen. And weirdly, the brand were being difficult up until that. Well, I say difficult. They weren't being that difficult. They were being very specific up until that point. But when we posted that video and I said, "Oh, look, I'm so sorry. We just made a genuine mistake here." They're like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it. Mistakes happen. It's cool. We're both in this together." And that was nice. That was such a nice thing to get back from a brand when you think you're just going to get take the video down, repost it with the right thing, and fix it. You've made a mistake. We're not going to pay you. Whatever it might be. But that's kind of the worst thing. And again, it's just this whole industry, and most industries, is just problem solving. As a business owner, it's just problem solving. You find a problem, there's always stuff to address, whether it's going to be the views on the channel, whether it's going to be who you hire next, whether it's going to be the finances and how you balance sponsorships and dedicated and integrations and shorts and Instagram. And there's always things that can distract you. It's just knowing which one to latch onto, which is going to I've always been very fond of the 80-20 rule of finding the 20% of the stuff that does 80% of the results. Mm-hmm. And that's worth spending time to find out what that 20% is. When running the old IT business.
Where do you feel like your 20% right now is? What's the place where you're spending?
This is it. It's much more of a mixture with running a YouTube business, where within my IT business, you just go, well, look, where's my revenue coming from? My 80% of my revenue is coming from 20% of my customers. So you focus on getting more of those 20% customers. But in business, there's various different ways you can look at it. You can look at from a revenue basis. Well, actually, 80% of our revenue are coming from 20% of the brands we work with that actually pay us good rates and respect the work we do and enjoy the videos we make together and we work with every year. And it's those perfect brands that we work with. You're I just wish we had more of those. Yeah. Again, you can just try and focus more on those brands, focus on finding more of those brands if they want to refer you to other, I don't know if they have relationships with other brands, but there's that. There's looking at the editing time, how do you what's the 20% in your editing process that delivers 80% of the results? And lots of it is the end bits where we're doing all the tweaking and building the story or whatever it is. It's not doing the first A-roll cuts, placing B-rolls in the right position. So again, as bad as AI is, if we can use AI to make that bit more efficient and then have our guys spending more time doing the things that makes more of a difference, then we will look into that. But you can apply it to any part of your business. Again, the whole accounts process. I know a friend of mine that's now looking to pretty much automate their bookkeeping because, well, AI can practically do that for you. And again, it might not be perfect, but it gets you, again, 80% of the way there. And 80% for free, apart from the AI costs, is pretty great versus spending hundreds or potentially thousands on real people, as bad as it sounds, to pay them to do it when you could get 8% of the results for AI to do it. And then paying someone just to, do the final checks at the end. And so it's just learning how to be more efficient. There's no quick and easy. It's just a case of everyone at the end of the day is trying to figure their way through things. Even the biggest business owners are still trying to figure their way through things. I chatted with Samir Samat, the president of Android, yesterday at Google. I was one of 3 people I understood that day to be able to get the opportunity to chat with him. And it's just everyone's still dealing with the same problems. Some people have been in the industry longer, so they know the tides and fluctuations on what to expect. AI is very much an unknown, but it's still just another unknown. When Shorts came out, that was an unknown, and loads of people ignored Shorts for the longest time because it's just Shorts is a new thing. We don't care about that. But now Shorts is just a thing that everyone puts up and exists with. Now it's AI. I ignored AI for the longest time until maybe, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago. And now I'm fully into it and I love it. And it's great because I'd rather know what's going on than ignore it. And then it'll be the next thing. And it's just everything constantly evolves, and just as a business owner, it's just you just keep up to date with things. You figure out where you can like take elements from other people, other creators, get inspiration from other business owners and other creators, figuring out if you can apply them to your channel and your business, and just that's all you can really do. There's no perfect solution, unfortunately.
Finishing with two more simpler questions. What is your favorite day and why? Like, if you're thinking about your day in a week, like, what's the most exciting thing when it like YouTube business, and why do you like that day the most?
In my normal routine, which is just like there's no events going on, it's just day to day. We're scripting, we're shooting, we're that kind of thing. So I script on Thursdays. Technically speaking, Friday would be my favorite day because that is my day off when we home educate one of our kids. So I basically spend the day with my eldest kids. We do gym, we swim, do fun stuff together. So technically Friday, although you could technically call that the weekend. But in my working day, script on Thursdays, shoot on Mondays. Then like Wednesdays and Thursdays are like time to like capture B-roll, do extra things like the cool channel we've got. We called it the cool channel because it was the first name we came up with, and we're just like, that's quite funny because then when we talk about it, we can say like, oh, we'll post that video on the cool channel, and like not the main channel, it's the cool channel. It's just like, we don't really worry much about things about everyone stresses about what to call their business, and you very quickly realize that it really doesn't matter what you call your business. It matters how good your business is and what it does. So the business makes the name essentially. Probably like Wednesdays or Thursdays because it's like the pressure's off, like the video's technically shot at that point, and then it's just capturing the fun B-roll shots, and it's doing the other bits, and like the cool channel videos are just like whatever tech I've got around me and I think I can make a video about, then I can. But it depends because there might be a brand deal, a brand trip coming up. There's lots of events going on at the moment. There's Samsung Unpacked next week. Pixel release will be around the corner. There's the iPhone season coming up. So it peaks and flows throughout the year. CES is a fantastic time of the year for me. I love going to Vegas and seeing all the brands and hanging out with loads of creators. So that's like not a particular day of the week, but like a day of the year, essentially, or week of the year.
I like it. And the last question then is, who do you think I should speak next? Speak to next. Who do you think I should speak to next?
I'm going to throw Shervin Share's name in the hat because I think he's a really cool guy. I get on with him really well. We chat from time to time, as you do with creators. You kind of just, from time to time you chat. But yeah, he's really cool, really good guy, really passionate. He's really into his like tech, but he also does fitness, and he's central New York City, so he's very involved in lots of like events going on, YouTube events, and he I don't know if he still lives. I don't think he still lives in the content closet, but he's got two other creator friends that he lives with or lived with, and they're doing very well on YouTube as well. And he had some interesting approach to content. He created like multiple channels. He's got like Shervin Shares reviews, Shervin Shares Too Much. Like there's loads of stuff going on there. So that might be an interesting one to unpack with him. So yeah, I'll throw his name out.
What do you think is like the number one question we should ask him?
I'll say, how's the hunt for a girlfriend going? Maybe that's not an appropriate question to ask him. I don't know. That's an interesting one. His content is so different, and he pumps out so many. There's a question because I think I kind of know the answer, but how does he make so much content? Because he's pumping out reviews like there is like no tomorrow. So yeah, let him explain that kind of workflow because it's an interesting one.
Okay, fantastic.